Hi everyone, and welcome to our stream today. Today I'm joined with Shona Hagan. My name is Sarah-Zee Haskett, and we're going to be talking about Shona's work with Amazingly Healthy Life, and I'm going to learn a little bit about what's brought her to doing this work and what's inspired her. But first of all, if I could just get you to introduce yourself a little bit, Shona.
Yeah, so I'm Shona Hagan. I am a certified health and wellness coach, dance teacher, Egyptian dance performer and teacher. Don't perform as much nowadays, especially in the last year. I run various things to do with dance as well, and I have done for, I don't even count, but it must be about the last, is it 15 years? I have no idea. It might be longer. I am 54 years young. I have two girls who are grown up now. I am married and I live in Dorset.
Nice. Thank you. And of course, we know each other through dance because Shona was my teacher. Yeah. It still is.
Yeah, that's true.
Although we're doing it on Zoom now.
Through the plastic on the wall, yeah.
Yeah. And so I've always been intrigued sort of how you started dancing. Actually, I know that we were mainly going to be talking about absolutely amazingly healthy lives, but I just wanted to ask.
Okay, it's an interesting one. I think I've always been a dancer. That's the truth. Since I was this high, I was tiny. I did tap, I did ballet, I did modern stage, all that kind of stuff. So I think I wasn't the right shape quite for those kind of, you had to be really thin. I'm not saying I wasn't thin, but I wasn't thin, like that kind of thin. So I think that I was discouraged from that as a teenager. And then I was really into, I was an aerobics teacher. That I did that for quite a while when I was in my early 30s, late 20s, early 30s. And but my aerobics were basically dance.
Yeah.
So I did things like called salsa aerobics and stuff. So it was like salsa dance aerobic things. So they were always dancey. And then I've seen a documentary on the television. I think it was Hilary Thacker. You probably not know her because you're not Scottish, but she was a big dancer back in the day in Scotland. And there was a documentary on the telly, and I was like, I want to do that. So basically, it was really hard to find a class in those days. There weren't that many classes. I lived at the time in Bridge of Allen in Stirling, and the latest classes were in Falkirk in Edinburgh. So I found two classes. I actually gave up my job to go and do these belly dance classes because obviously as an aerobics teacher I was working every night out teaching aerobics, so I couldn't do both, and I had a baby as well. Daisy was a baby at the time, and so I went to Lorna Gow's class. Lorna was my first teacher, and another lady called Judith Whitelaw or Whiteley, I can't remember. I think it's Whitelaw. She moved to Spain actually about the same time as I did. So that was my two first teachers. It was basically, I seen it on the telly. I was like, I want to do that. That's for me. And then I just went all out to do it.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I love that.
I know. And after like about a year or something, not even a year, after 6 months, I joined the Jawad teacher training scheme. As well. So once I got into that, because it was all learning in the one place, really easy, rather than spending 10 years looking everywhere for all the answers. We did everything, history and culture, anatomy, all the different styles. So it was actually a really good course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to ask you that. I don't know why I haven't just asked you, but I've always just kind of like, I wonder how she got into it.
That's how.
Nice. So what led you from that work to Amazingly Healthy Lives? How did that happen?
Right, so basically I was all out in my dancing, as you know, like it was every single, it was Monday to Thursday. I had class after class, and then at the weekends quite often I taught workshops. Some of them were self-imposed because they were workshops that I organised myself, but sometimes I was hired by other people and performances, and had a bit of a full calendar. But so I think, I never count things, right, but I think it was about 8 or 9 years ago. I was in this house that I'm back in now, and I started not to feel so good, So I was getting a bit depressed, and I do not do depressed. It just doesn't suit. Like I've always said, I get depressed when I'm depressed. It doesn't suit me. I just can't, I can't handle it. Maybe you'll know what I'm talking about, but I just can't cope with it. So yeah, I just didn't feel right in myself, and I was, I was losing my energy, and like I'm a really big energy person. I had a bloated tummy, and I was like, I must have been the fittest person I knew. Like I was so fit, and but I wasn't all that healthy. I thought I was healthy, but I wasn't really healthy. But yeah, I was getting this bloated tummy, and it was obviously that by eating the wrong things as opposed to being overweight, because I just never stopped exercising. Yeah, so kind of the low energy, the bloated belly, and just not feeling quite. I wasn't I was starting to not get happy, even though I had this brilliant life, like full of all these people that I loved, and my dance. I've been like teaching dance was like my life, but it was like my passion as well. I was really lucky, You don't make a lot of money teaching dance, but you're successful in all the other, like on all the other ways, right?
Yeah.
And so I just thought, like, I'm going to do something, right? So I started researching. I kind of had this feeling I'm like really instinctive person, and I go with my instincts, and do you know what? It's annoying, but they're nearly, if not always, right. Do you know what I mean? People don't believe in it. I completely believe in it, right? So I just kind of went with my instincts. It's something to do with this. And I researched a bit. I tried out being a vegan, and I know you're a vegan. Yeah, but I had also been reading about the raw community.
Yeah.
Like it's raw vegan. It's basically raw vegan. Yeah. So I did dabble a little bit in that. And what I found is after I ate like a lovely big raw salad, like I don't mean lettuce, tomato, and cucumber. I mean like really good stuff. And but I would combine that with a really good quality bit of fish or meat or something like that. I felt really good, like really good. But if I ate, like, say I would make a vegan curry, it just kind of with rice, and it just kind of dragged me down a bit. So I thought, well, this is the way that I should eat. And it made me feel really good. There was another thing that was really getting me down at the time as well, was like digestive problems. And I know that they're starting to link the two, the depression stuff with gut health. So it's possible. But yeah, I had acid reflux, and that's not like I had indigestion. It wasn't like that. It was like there was bubbles coming up my throat and stuck there. And it was really weird. And I went to the doctor, and she basically said, you've probably got a hiatus hernia, but they didn't do anything about it. They didn't investigate me. She just gave me these tablets, these some protein pump inhibitors is their right name, and they didn't even work properly. So, but it was funny because as soon as I started this new sort of really high raw diet, the acid reflux completely disappeared. It was like overnight. I just didn't get the symptoms anymore. So I stopped taking the tablets, and I've never had them since. I got them once when I did handstands and yoga. So I just stopped doing that. Headstands rather. I stopped doing that, and I was fine again. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't have that problem anymore because I don't have the symptoms. So
yeah. So that's really interesting. There is more and more research in the link between your gut and your brain.
It's really interesting, isn't it? It's really interesting. I think it's, going by the way you feel yourself, when there's something wrong there that you don't feel very happy. It does affect more than just, just the, that feeling of in your stomach, whether it's, I don't know, IBS or acid reflux. They're all things that affect your whole life and your mood, aren't they? Rather than.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Did I answer your question? I don't know, because I rambled on a bit there, didn't I?
No, it was really interesting, and I can see we've got a few people watching. So if anyone's got any questions or any comments, just leave us a message in the chat, and we'll bring you in.
So yeah, I talked there. I talked there about. Oh, you're never going to get me shut up now. I talked there about why I started, but so obviously, this, you were asking me what inspired me to start my business.
Yeah.
And so I did this myself for years and years and years. And actually, it was only when I got the space to do something that I did it. So, because my life was so full of dance. I had no space for anything else. It was my whole life. So as you know, I went traveling for 4 years with my husband, and it was during that time that I thought I could do something. I would really like other people to learn the good news, if you like. I want to share it with people, but you don't want to sit and lecture people because they're like, yeah, you know. So then I started writing a blog, and I thought, well, if they want to know about it, they can read it. And if they don't need to. I'm not shoving it down your neck, you know. You can choose whether to read it or not. Because I'm telling the truth, but you don't need to listen. You could be like, right, I'll read that and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like sometimes you see people and it's horrible because I think, you know what, I could really help you, you know.
Yeah.
Really help you. Listen, but you can't force people. You can't,
no.
You can't force it down their neck. So it's there if you want it, and there's lots of free stuff there, like the blog posts and all that. And I've actually, when I was doing research interviews for my course, and what I found is a lot of people reading my blogs and doing what I said and looking amazing. Like, really, I'm so happy about that, you know. They've actually just, not everybody can take from a blog posts and learn enough from it to change their life, but there were a few people that I interviewed that had actually done that.
That's really cool.
I was really pleased about that.
Yeah. And I like that it took sort of taking a break, you know, to then be re-inspired.
Yeah, I needed the space. I was keeping it all to myself before.
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel amazing. I feel amazing. And everybody kept saying, Shona, you look amazing. So that's where I got the name Amazingly Healthy Life from.
Right. And I remember reading, and admittedly I haven't read all your blogs because I'm not very good. I'm not good at reading. So it's like sitting down reading things is not so much me. But I did read one of your blogs, which I particularly liked. And actually, you don't know this, but I kind of use this sometimes when I'm delivering therapy with people, because you talked about the critic in your head and you said that you call it Mona.
Yeah.
And obviously that's a real CBT thing. So as a CBT therapist, when I'm teaching that, sometimes I actually use you and I say, hey, my friend Shona says, you know, she calls her Mona.
Yeah, call it a name and tell her to shove off.
Yeah.
It's tough though. I mean, actually with the health coaching, because I'm certified now, right? So when I started, obviously, I just did this for me, but I'm a certified health coach. And really, health coaching is all about behavior change. So we learn we learn CBC, which is the same as the therapy, except obviously it's not for people who are are mentally have mental health problems. It's just for healthy people. So it's cognitive behavioral coaching as opposed to therapy, you know. But it's the same thing, like the motivational interviewing, you know, and the OARS techniques and all that to help people to make the changes they need.
Bringing in that behavior change.
Because that's basically that's the big thing that the training and the coaching is really it's about behavior change, you know.
Definitely.
And partnering people. So I mean, like I also do 1-to-1, and for the 1-to-1, that's more softly, and using those kind of techniques and taking people from where they are and collaborating with them and helping them as softly and slowly as you want to. But like for instance, Healthy and Loving It course, that's a bit more radical. That's it, you know, like we do like overnight changes and that. And you know, it's funny. I mean, you actually, I'm not going to name names because like obviously I'm not parading people around that are my clients, but you know most of them because most of them, because you know they're dancers. And I've had one, and I've thought about this. She was basically chicken nuggets and chips for dinner. Like you know, she self-admitting that she ate a lot of processed food, and I was really worried about her starting the course because it's kind of like, right, overnight you're going to do this, like only 2 things, only the eating, but you know everything else is
which is hard. It's hard to give up habits.
I thought it was going to be hard for her, but she took to it like what's the word? Fish, duck in water. She's a dream, honestly. She's learned how to cook and she loves it. And you know what's great, Sarah? She feeds her mum and dad, and she feeds her boss's mum, like older people, and they won't have any of that processed stuff anymore. She's told me they love it. So it's not only her eating that's got healthy, it's all those other people. No, but she did it, and she did. I was really worried about her, but she loves it. And I just think if I had took a softly approach for her, I mean, where would we be? I don't know. It depends, you know. There's two ways of looking at it, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's got to come from the person, hasn't it? Like the person makes the choice. Do you want to make a radical change? Is this the time for you right now, or do you need to kind of slowly build on that familiarity and make the change in steps?
It's true. Like, I mean, I say radical, but you know me, like they're supposed to. But I would be soft on them anyway, but not too soft, because, you know, you want them to do well. You know, you don't want them to feel. The great thing about the course is that we met every night on Zoom like this. And that was so good, because when I did my pilot, we didn't do that. And what a big difference it made. It's so, I mean, everybody did amazingly well on it.
That's cool. and when I read about the course, it did look quite intense, because you were talking about, you know, there's worksheets, there's things released every day, and so you're meeting on Zoom every day as well. But I imagine that's quite supportive, and that you're all on this journey together.
Very supportive. Yeah. I mean, I wondered, will everybody turn up? But on the whole, it was like 100% turnout.
Wow.
Once somebody's husband's birthday, they didn't come, and one other lady a few times, but more or less was 100% turnout. They were really good, and they really enjoyed it. They really bonded. They were bonded. Yeah. And there is lessons come out every day. It takes you about 15 or 20 minutes to do them. You don't do them like. And actually, but you were talking about reading. So I have like the main lesson. I have it's writing, but it's also an audio. So you can listen to it or read it, which is good. There's a few video lessons, but mostly that's just me blabbing on. But we meet every night, and that's great. You know, that really seals it. Like, I think that's what keeps them on the straight and narrow.
Yeah. That probably encourages people to keep going as well.
And of course, it's 80. I always say it's an 85% compliance rate. I hate the word compliance, but I don't know how to put it better. If they do it 85% of the time, that's good enough. Nobody's perfect, so it's more about being persistent rather than perfect. But the results have been like phenomenal. Like, one of them, and you know this lady, she will talk to you if you want her to. I'm just not naming names. I don't want to do that, but she so if you have weight, I'm not a weight loss coach, but the thing is that because most women want to lose a bit of weight, it's kind of like where you're advertising, otherwise you'll never help anybody, right? But she had weight to lose. She lost 13 pounds in the 6 weeks of the course, which is very healthy and good weight loss. And she's continued since. So in her words, she said it's not just the course or a coaching program. It's like a toolkit to go on with the rest of your life. Well, she's flying. She's now doing Couch to 5K. She's continued to lose weight. But what she said to me, Shona, she actually gave up alcohol and coffee during the course as well. So that's one of the softly things. I ask them to do something towards reducing any bad habits they have. But it's they choose how much they do. So she chose to give alcohol a break for the 6 weeks, and she did that without a problem. And coffee as well. So she chose to do that, and she did it with the support. Because I mean, I don't drink tea or coffee, but I don't ask anybody else not to do that. And obviously, you know, I don't drink anymore, but I used to drink like bloody fish. You know what I mean? So so I feel like I can support people in that because I've been through it. Yeah. And a lot of people go through the alcohol, quitting alcohol if they have to, but they just turn to sugar. But like, I never done that because I was already on this healthy journey, and this lady never done it either. She did the whole thing, you know. But I don't know where I was, but the sugar thing. So I'm doing a free quit sugar challenge.
I was just about to ask about that.
Yeah. So that's something I'm trying this month. So I want to say it's like when you get healthy and you do it right, it's like coming home to where you should be. That's the only way I can describe it. It's like you come home to healthy because that's where you were. You know, that's where you were as a child, right? Until you started eating all the sweeties and all that stuff. But I don't go without my life. I don't go without sugar. I don't go without sweet treats. Let's put it that way, you know. So I eat raw. I eat healthy sweet treats, so I make them. Yeah, whether it's like things like lemon bliss balls, or I do raw chocolate brownies in a dehydrator. Some of them you just need a blender, and some of them you need a dehydrator as well. And so what I do is, though, I have the sugar. I use a healthy sugar like raw honey or coconut sugar. I know that it's still sugar, but you know they're much healthier. And you start. I recommend people start where you are. So, for example, if you've got a really sweet tooth at the start, maybe start with how many tablespoons of sugar you need, and then just slowly work that down every time you make them. Bring it down and down and down. So I have 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of sugar, raw honey, whatever I'm using, in my batch. But the batch is 24. So that's like 1/24 of a tablespoon of sugar, honey, whatever it is I've used, in that raw sweet treat. And because it's raw and because it's real food, it satisfies you. You don't sit like, you're like what you do with sweeties because they're absolute rubbish. You don't do that because it's real food. So
and I find that even just with chocolate, you know, like you eat like a Cadbury's Dairy Milk and you just want to keep eating because there's something in it. But if you eat like a sort of a dark, a raw dark chocolate, I just have one and then I'm okay.
I know. I'm a big fan of dark chocolate, actually. I'm a big fan, and I also recommend that on my course as well. And I will be in the Quit Sugar Challenge as well. So in the challenge, I have one of my raw recipes. It's a video demonstration. That I've taken out from the course, but there are more in the course. But yeah, no, that's one of the big things. I have a few different things that I recommend, and what I found in the course, right? I found it easy. Like I thought it's going to be a struggle. They're all going to be like moaning, and they're not at all moaning. They're not like, oh my God, I've got the sugar withdrawals. Like they're not even bothered. They're just like, they're doing it. Like they're just doing it.
I think I'm going to join your sugar challenge actually, because that's the one thing. Yeah, the crave for sweet things is a real problem for me. I mean, I tend to use like dates. I'll eat a lot of fruit. A hell of a lot of fruit I eat. But I'm always, whenever I eat something, then I always want something sweet after.
I was exactly the same, and I still am. I'm exactly the same, Sarah. I think it's natural.
But
it's the problem, and I don't know if you've read my blog about this, but the problem is that we used to eat real sugar, sweet things like fruit, and you know, all our sweet stuff came from nature, but now it's all this fake sugar that we eat, and it's addictive. It's honestly like I've had one of my ladies on Instagram, right? She said to me, "Should I want to do your Quit Sugar Challenge?" And I was like, "Good." And then she said, "Oh, I don't think I can do it, so I don't think I'll do it." And I'm like, if you don't think you can quit sugar for 3 days, you should do it. Imagine you said, "I don't think I can quit alcohol for 3 days." You'd think I've got a serious problem, wouldn't you? You would think that. But yeah, you think it's okay that, you know, I get it that people hate to be told what to do. I mean, I hate it, but it's not as strict as I'm making it, you know. I think I've got advertising out this week to get people in, and it's quit sugar. I'm going to soften that a little bit. I'm going to start softening it because I'm not as strict as I'm sounding. Do you know what I mean? And there is light. And actually, but when you do it, when you change, it's better. It's better. I was saying to you earlier, the lady that we both know who's done so well, they all did really well, by the way. And she said, she's written me a really good review, and she said she couldn't believe how well she feels. It's like she's been living in this big. Well, that's exactly what happened to me. She's been living in this big thing. You think this is normal, feeling like this is normal, and then you come out of it, and you're like, you know, like you wake up in the morning, you're like, whoa, come on. It's honestly, I'm not lying. And she said, "Well, I want to do your review because they might believe me, because they might not necessarily believe you, you know, because you might just think you just want money, you know, but I'm actually telling the truth. Yes, I do want to earn a living, but I am actually telling the truth. And I'm over the moon about it, is it worked for me, and now I know it works for other people too.
And do you know what I thought of when you said that is that's what I was like when I was 19. I used to jump out of bed.
Yeah,
I would be happy. I'd be, you know, full of life. Yeah. And I don't have mornings like that now, and I haven't had for a long time. So
yeah, because that comes back. I swear it comes back. Like, you're just virtually. I annoy myself sometimes. Like, you know, I want to tell people, and then I can't tell them. They'll just be annoyed at me. You know?
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, no, it's true, and that's what I thought about this morning. It's like coming home to healthy. I actually just thought of that this morning. It's like, I thought coming home to your natural habitat, but that makes you sound like an elephant or something like that. But, you know what I mean? It's like, that's where, would you ever feed your baby what you feed yourself? Would you? You wouldn't. No. Why do we feed ourselves stuff we wouldn't feed our babies?
Yeah.
And it's like, so I always knew, right, but since I've done the actual training, I've got, like, I don't remember the figures and numbers, but there's a worldwide epidemic of chronic illness, and most of it can be avoided. Like, most of it can be avoided. And, like, we're all like freaking out about COVID-19, and there's this big killer, you know what I mean, that we could do something about. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. And we've got someone on the stream. Michelle says she can't wait for your sugar challenge.
Hi, Michelle.
Yeah. So anyone else on the stream, let us know that you're watching. It's a lonely stage up here when you're doing a stream. So just say hello in the chat. Let me know you're there. And any questions or anything you want to ask. But and I thought of something just now, and now it's slipped my mind. What was I going to say?
Well, it's good that you're doing this quit sugar challenge anyway. I'm glad.
Oh, that's what I was going to say on quitting sugar. My when my mum and dad were together, so years ago, I mean, and I don't remember this happening, but my mum decided that she was going to quit sugar. She made my dad do it. And dad was like, no, he didn't want to. And he was actually really annoyed that he'd been told that he couldn't have sugar. You know?
Exactly.
But even to this day, he now never has sugar in his tea. Like, since that day, he used to always have a sugar in his tea, and then they quit, and he's never actually gone back to it. And he always says, as soon as I got used to it, it was fine.
No, I know you don't even. In fact, your dad probably hates tea with sugar in it now.
Yeah.
The truth is, all you can taste is the sugar. And it's like you said about the dark chocolate and the milk chocolate, and he said, so I mean, I'm not like, I've said not perfection, persistence. So I might say, oh, I'll have a wee treat, but I'm very fussy about my treats now, because you go back to your favorite old chocolate and you're like, that is disgusting. It doesn't even taste like chocolate in the slightest. It tastes like sugar. That's it. It tastes like, virtually everything you eat tastes the same. It tastes like sugar. You know what I mean? So I actually eat chocolate. I eat 100% cacao, which with no sugar in it. It's like strong as anything. And nothing else will do for me now. Nothing else is chocolate.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't stand dairy chocolate anymore. Since I gave up dairy, really, and I was the same with cheese. I used to eat lots and lots and lots of cheese.
Yeah.
And then when I gave that up, I felt much better. But chocolate's similar. You know, now I really like dark chocolate, but I still really crave the sugar, and I just end up eating so much fruit and dates. I love.
Yeah, I mean, the dates I like think, but it's to do with, like, if you're watching like your weight, even if you're not watching your weight, like, you can eat a lot of dates, right? Yeah. And dried fruit in particular. If you imagine, you couldn't sit and eat a big pile of apples, but you could sit and eat a big pile of dried apples, couldn't you?
Yeah. Like, yeah, definitely.
So I mean, I dehydrate my own fruit in my dehydrator, which is good, but the stuff in the shops is sometimes pretty rubbish as well. Sometimes they put sugar in it, and sometimes they put, what's that stuff, some sulfate or some sort of chemical on it or something like that. So it's not great. But yeah, I also have this other thing coming out just while we're talking about like free things and stuff. It's more dance related, but it was funny when I started this coaching, my health coaching. I didn't really relate the dance with the coaching, but then I thought that's daft because dancing is like, so a lot of like coaches are also personal trainers and they'll do exercise classes, and that's exercise, right? Dance is exercise. So anyway, I've got this new thing coming out this week, Absolute Beginners Belly Dance Technique course, and that's completely free. It's a complete technique course for, you know, all the foundation moves for belly dance. Yeah, it's all pre-recorded. It's pre-recorded, so they can basically they could sign up for it right now and go up to the course. You don't download it, you join the course on the platform that my belly dance classes are on, and they've got access to the whole lot right away for nothing, free of charge. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to release that this week. The idea is that hopefully if they want to keep dancing, they'll come and join my dance class. But although how long we'll be dancing on Zoom, I have no idea.
Well, yeah, how long's a piece of string?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that's another thing. I haven't got that out and advertised yet. I think I'm going to do that on Thursday. But I gave you the link for it, so you can
oh, so you've heard it here first, people.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Brilliant.
So yeah, I don't know how many people want to learn to belly dance that are absolute beginners. So everybody I know is really already got their basic technique, but we'll see. Maybe a nice way to bring new people into the dance, and that's always a good thing, right?
Yeah. And dance is so good for your mental well-being.
Yeah.
And confidence.
Happy, your mind, your body, everything. Yeah. I know. It's your happy place, isn't it? I think if your cardio is your passion, it's really easy to do it. Yeah.
So, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you wanted to add? Or has anyone got any questions there on the stream that they want to ask? I mean, there is one other comment there where Michelle says she's done your course, and it's a game changer. Yeah, it sounds excellent.
Yeah, and Michelle did the first course, so that was before we even did the daily Zoom classes.
Right.
So it's even better now, Michelle.
And you're given access to the dance as well, aren't you? With the
yeah, they can do the Zoom classes for free. Obviously, they can get absolute beginners for free, and they can get that. Yeah, so I'll say my next Healthy and Loving It course, the group course, that's going to be 15th. I think it's going to be. I haven't released that yet, but it's 15th of May. 15th of May. I think that's when I'm planning on doing my next one. If I can get anybody to join me.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be nice.
It really works.
Yeah, for this nice for the summer, and you know, get everyone sort of out and active as the sun comes in.
Yeah.
Michelle says, "Can perfection be improved?" Oh, that's
of course
lovely.
It can. Of course. So yeah, no. The course itself, the group course, is it's a big part of it is getting your food sorted out, because I think that's where to start. That's where I started anyway. Like when I started doing my thing. I didn't smoke full time, but I smoked quite a lot, on and off. That just went, like, you know, as a habit. Alcohol, it took me a few years to give up. The alcohol was the last thing to go. I kind of held on to that like grim death till about 2.5 years ago. And then I thought, this is silly, you know. Actually, but you know, they do say your alcohol consumption keeps going up, but mine was coming down. Like, because when you feel really good, and then it's like you drink poison, and it's like, why am I doing this? You know, I'm eating all this healthy food, I feel amazing, and then I just ruin it.
It definitely affects your mood. I always feel really anxious after I've been drinking.
Sleep affects your sleep. Badly. That's one of the best things about doing a course and getting healthy, is that your peace of mind. The peace of mind is. Even if you don't have health worries, like everybody must have that slight niggle. Oh, I shouldn't have ate that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. You know that kind of thing. That just clears up, because you're like, well, if I get sick, there's nothing else I could have done. Like I've done I've got it covered. There's like I virtually cannot be any healthier, Zee, Sarah. I can't be any healthier. I don't know what else to do. And to be honest, my fitness could be better at the moment because what I've been doing is sitting on a laptop for the last year building a course. But I'm working on that at the moment. So yeah.
Brilliant.
So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we've been talking for a while. I mean, it feels like there's so much to say, but it's been really interesting to have you on, and it's great to kind of go through this and hear about everything that you're doing. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add before we?
No, I think I've probably spoke enough, haven't I? You never got much of a word in, did you?
No, that's fine. It's been a pleasure. It's been really great.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me on your little show. I'll share it. I'll get the recording from you and I'll share it on I think it's a great thing that you're doing here. It's really good. Yeah.
Thank you. Brill. Right, well, see you guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.